We're going to come back. We'll talk about plenty of other games.
The rivalry between Tennessee and Florida exploded in the 90s. The prize, usually an SEC title.
Jamal Lewis running for the end zone. Jamal Lewis hurdles. Is he in? Yes! Touchdown, Jamal Lewis. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Manning looking to throw. He's under a rush. He throws. He fires.
At the 5 to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, T. Martin. Touchdown, Tennessee. And the Tennessee Volunteers have drained the swamp. The Volunteers have come to Gainesville and won.
That first home loss to Tennessee in 30 years still haunts the Gators. To a man, both teams believe the road to the SEC championship begins today. It has become one of college football's fiercest rivalries. One game might not make a season, but this one comes awfully close. The resurgent Tennessee Volunteers march into the swamp looking to make a statement. The Florida Gators are young, hungry, wanting to know just... 87th straight sellout in Gainesville 2 years ago. And hi, everyone. I'm Craig Bolerjack. Welcome into Gainesville. This is the SEC opener for both Tennessee and Florida. The winner of this game gets the early jump to Atlanta come December. In the booth with me, Spencer Tillman, from the studio to the booth. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
This is a game that is headlined by quarterbacks. Let's start with Casey Clausen. He is 10-0 as a starter for Tennessee. They call him Iceman. Spencer, just how thick is that ice?
Well, partner, I'll be candid with you. I think in the minds of the defensive coordinator, Charlie Strong for Florida, that is still very much up for debate. I've looked at a lot of game tape of this guy, number 7, Casey Clausen. He is most comfortable behind that massive offensive line of his, but he's going to have the rest today. He is going to be under a zone blitz combination often and early in this contest. The guy that's going to make managing in the swamp a possibility, Cedric Houston. He's running with the lean and the authority that really defines this Volunteer offense. He's an outstanding talent. Will he show up today?
You know, always a story about quarterbacks here in Florida, no matter. Late flag as the emotions begin to bubble up early.
And that's the thing that you've got to expect in a game with this type of rich tradition. Whichever team comes out aggressively, angry, in fact, that's the team that's going to make their mark early in this contest. This is an emotional confrontation here taking place. The precedent set early by that coverage team from Florida.
Here comes the announcement. Personal foul on the kicking team. And here's Casey Clausen, the Iceman, on the season, 394 yards. And Spencer, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's 10-0 as a starter on the road, 26-7, a career starter at Tennessee. And the Volunteers will start in the I. Clausen on first down, throws near sideline, knocked down Kewan Ratliff. Good corner coverage by number 1. And let's check out our Earthlink starting lineups for Tennessee. Up on that offensive line, 3 seniors and a very talented left tackle, a junior, and Michael Munoz. Backs and receivers, Cedric Houston off to a terrific start, averaging over 160 rushing yards a game. Second down and 10 at the swamp. Flags. And it stops play. Second down. Clausen, little delay. Tennessee stayed at home, played the gap, and not much for Houston. Let's look at the linebackers, Spencer. A true freshman, Channing Crowder.
Man on the first play, zone second, and now he's rolling another aggressive. Here's some of the blitz I was telling you about.
Two wideouts near side as Clausen sets his feet and throws near sideline. And a little bit strong on the toss. Gus Scott back out on coverage, so the secondary of the Gators making some noise here early.
And, you know, Craig, that's some of the combinations that I was telling you there.
Boot away, and the left footer settles in. Takes a bounce and no return for Ratliff. And so the Florida Gators will start their first offensive series at the 32-yard line. A 40-yard kick by Colquitt. They stack three wideouts near side, but they go to the ground. Rand Carthon, three-year letterman out of Key West.
You look at his athleticism, outstanding guy.
Little option, tuck and run. Martin thought about the pitch, got up to the 38-yard line. Defensively for Tennessee, Constantine Richmond. Hey, he's back after knee surgery last year. At the linebackers, very good threesome. Kevin Burnett also returning from a year of knee surgery, and the senior Rashad Baker anchors the secondary.
Florida coming out in the trips formation. This is that empty backfield. Looks like a Tiger package. Expect a little cross switch between the receivers.
They're down four. Bumped from behind, and they go to the out of bounds. Dallas Baker. Or is that, yeah, Baker, the intended receiver, the sophomore.
But see, here's the thing, you know, on the outcut right here, Baker does a great job. Now, they completed the pass, even though it's out of bounds. That's a very important play because Tennessee came out with the exact same play, working the corner, and theirs was incomplete. Looks like Florida's taking advantage of the home field, settling down early.
4th and 4. Eric Wilbur punts away. Taken up the 27-yard line and a return up to the 41, but I see a flag back around the 27-yard line. Tinsley, nice return. We'll see what the call is. Some early flags here at the Swamp.
Well, that's just expected. You know, there's a lot of energy flying. They'll settle down after a while. I think the thing about this series that makes it really interesting is that you know you're going to have high energy in this one. Whichever team can settle down the quickest and still play within themselves is really going to have an advantage because someone needs to score first. They'll have the upper hand throughout the course of this game. Well, you're going to get pressure oftentimes on the corner, but then when you get guys screaming off the outside, it's very difficult to get in a position to block. But you get back there as a punter, and it can be quite unnerving. Martin did a great job back there dealing with that situation. He gets his team up to the line of scrimmage, ready in that bunch formation now, causing confusion.
First down, Florida, Deshaun Wynn. Let's go back, Tim Brando, for an update in New York. Timmy?
All right, Craig, it was supposed to be a bounce-back week for the Badgers.
Back in the day. Way back in the day. Wynn, the ball carrier, redshirt freshman, and they really like this young guy out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's packed 224 pounds on a 5'11 frame.
Well, I think the thing...
3rd down. Little cut. Short at the 34-yard line again. Deshaun Wynn, the ball carrier.
And see, Craig, I really like that. You see him hit him between the...
Drive continues just inside the 35-yard line. Again, Wynn breaks a tackle. That hole open and closed quickly at the 31-yard line. Robert Peace, the middle linebacker, who had 10 stops against Marshall a couple of weeks ago, makes the stop. You know, Tennessee comes off a bye week. Florida comes off the big 63-3 win over Florida A&M. I'm wondering if Tennessee will tell you they like the rest. Florida says, hey, we got 65 extra reps in.
Well, I think Philip will tell you, and he told us as much. He was really chomping at the bit there after several days off. I think this really plays in the favor of Florida in this regard because they have been on a string now for 3 consecutive weeks.
Wynn makes contact. Maybe a half a yard to the 30 is where they'll start it. Kevin Simon, strong side backer with the tackle.
You know, Florida is wanting to run the ball, and we talked about establishing the line of scrimmage. They do that here on this play. Doesn't look like much ISO, but they're playing the type of ball that Tennessee wants to play. Establish the line of scrimmage, very physical, very strong. We're not used to seeing Florida run this way. You certainly wouldn't see it in the Steve Spurrier era.
Hurry up offense, 3rd down and 6. 4 wideouts stacked to the top of your screen.
That's that diamond bunch formation up top.
From the shotgun, Ingle Martin. Long snap count. 3-step drop, good protection, then he throws it. Incomplete. Forward motion of the arm, and the official right on the spot, and that brings up 4th down. Boy, defense right now dictating both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Mondre Dickerson doing a great job on the scissor stunt, getting pressure on Martin there. That's just a tremendous action up front. Now, look, you're going to see scissor stunts, swipping and swapping going on back here. The pressure comes from inside ultimately. Martin does a great job of getting the ball away.
Matt Leach is on the field for a 47-yard field goal attempt. He's hit 5 of 6 on the season, as long as a 37, and he drills it from 47. Gators strike first. And the kick is off, and a good one. Inside the 5-yard line. To the 21 goes Larkins. An 18-yard return and a timeout at the Swamp in Gainesville. Chew up some yardage ground-wise from the eye. Clausen, handoff, not much. Well, you got Mo Mitchell up front, Ray McDonald, a redshirt freshman. Channing Crowder picks his way through from the middle linebacking spot and makes the stop.
See, this is where the battle's...
They're nearly halfway through another. Flags. Right here on CBS.
Craig, the North's becoming a factor. Casey Clausen understands now that he's got to communicate directly with his troops.
Off the right side, tripped up is Houston. For another update around college football, back to New York, here's Tim.
All right, Craig and Spencer. Booker Stanley.
Clausen shotgun on 3rd down. 4 wideouts. Good protection. Throws in a crowd, and it's caught. 1st down, Tennessee. And a nice grab that time by James Bank, who had 4 catches against Marshall a couple of weeks ago for 24 yards. For a 24-yard touchdown.
See, and Craig, I think this is going to change because you've got basically 2 safeties, one over here and one over here. This is just zone read by the receiver. A great job. Even though Casey put it on his back shoulder, he made a great catch, reached out there and snapped it. James Banks, great job against the zone package by Charlie Strong's defense.
And Spencer, he made the move from quarterback as a freshman to wide receiver. A little bit of room now for Tennessee, but the ground game continues to sputter as Ray McDonald out of Belle Glade, Florida, a redshirt freshman, makes the top stop, big number 95.
Now, see, you can live with this little...
From the eye. Boy, ground game very tough for Tennessee. Back to New York, here's Tim Brando.
Fellas, I know you're both aware that Craig Krenzel is out.
Clock running, coming up on 6 minutes left. First quarter. Boy, it's loud. Boston having to check in with Scott Wells, the center.
Little play action draw.
Good protection, good
coverage, though, man. I'll tell you.
You know, that's just a coverage sack.
Oh.
Simple and plain.
That's discipline. See, that's the intricacy.
Dustin Colquitt. Good kick by the left footer. Ratliff underneath at the 15. Stop and go. Look at that. Breaks the tackle. Flags are down. Bumped out of the 28-yard line.
Well, you know, Kewan's a dual threat. He's an outstanding guy, but because of the emergence of those receivers on the offensive side of the ball, they hadn't had to use him very much.
A 48-yard kick, 13-yard return. I think we know, looking at Phil Fulmer today, it's a little hot down here in Gainesville.
Yeah, we need to get one of those little ice blower things and just kind of spray that right on Philip Fulmer's back. Well, he's an old offensive lineman. He knows what it's like there between the trenches. But you see all that right there?
Oh, yeah.
That's wet, I'll tell you.
5:05 in the first quarter. We'll be back to Gainesville. True to form, Ingle Martin, 2 series. Now the freshman, the true freshman, Chris Leak at quarterback. Deshaun Wynn, a couple of yards on the ground up to the 18-yard line. And Chris Leak out of Charlotte, North Carolina. His brother CJ, by the way, is a backup quarterback at Tennessee. They think this guy is going to be terrific. 6'1", 205. This time last year, Spencer, he's playing for Independence High School in Charlotte. His career numbers staggering, over 15,000 yards passing, 185 touchdowns.
Well, he had a big 30-yard reception his first pass to Andre Caldwell, another freshman.
He's also dangerous on the run, but boy, they sniff it out. Balls. Bend but don't break. Big hole open and it closed.
Well, you know you're going to get pressure up front for that defensive front. They've had a lot of reclamation going on, have the Tennessee Volunteers up front, but the games and the switch and the dealing causing problems. This is the second time today they've had success gaming and dealing. And when I refer to that, all that means is the defensive linemen are switching responsibilities and twisting. And those big old offensive linemen may be smart, but it's tough when you got all those bodies coming from different directions and know who in the block.
3rd down and 8. Fumble, picked up, Leak, down inside the 10. Tough series for the freshman. Welcome to Division I football and welcome to the Tennessee defense.
And that's the one thing you got to do. As a quarterback, particularly a freshman, you've got to come back and understand, settle down. You see him putting his hands together and settle down. Keep your eyes on that ball. I think part of the problem is Chris just let the ball hit his hands, and he's looking for the route to develop instead of seeing the ball properly first, making sure he has it, particularly backed up against his own goal line.
Big punt off the foot of Wilbur. Takes a gator bounce inside the 15, and there will be no return. Let's count that. 1. About 75 yards.
That's a foot now.
Whoa. Hot, humid day in Gainesville. Good look at Casey Clausen under center. 3:13 left, opening quarter, down by a field goal. Pitch comes near side. Cedric Houston running hard.
See, that's a good perimeter move right there. Great 5-yard gain. That's the way Tennessee wants to do it. If you notice, the first 2 series, they were running the ball vertical up the field between the tackles. Now they're starting to stretch it just a little bit, getting the stretch that they need. Here's where the play is going to come on the outside. A pitch downhill. We call that Boston toss. Left coast, California. East coast, Boston. They're going to see that much tonight from that defensive line.
Houston averaging 7 yards a carry. He picks up 7. 2nd down, 3. They go the other way. Picks up a head of steam. 1st down. Volunteers 26-yard line.
See, again, that's the complementary to that play. And it's really neat how they do this because everything is established with the idea of working the field vertically and horizontally. We're going this way to the right coast now, and that's the Boston play. Going to the East Coast upfield. A lot of blue shirts there at the end. But Houston doing a great job of forwardly stretching the field horizontally and, of course, vertically in the first couple of series.
Taking a rest in this heat, 7 carries for 15 yards. Clausen changing things up at the line. 4 on the play clock. He gets it off. Same play, different back.
Yeah, they like that. And see, that's where their bread and butter is going to be, off tackle, stretching it a little bit. Now, we know this young, aggressive defensive front can run and chase with the best of them, despite the fact that they're young. But again, Tennessee has confidence in that senior offensive line. They think they can make success running the ball that way.
They like Jabari Davis as well to back up Houston. He's averaging, Spencer Tillman, over 7 yards a carry as well.
Well, it's easy to do that when you got Michael Munoz up front, Anthony Herrera. They've got 305 pounds is the average of that offensive line. It's tough not to get plus yards behind that.
Yeah, the little guy is Scott Wells, the center at 300. Play action. Clausen steps up. Ball batted down. Good pressure. 50 in state. Casey Clausen now 1 of 4 for just 22 yards. From the shotgun again. Pressure. Steps up. Throws incomplete. And flags are down at the 37. And Darrell Lee lost his hat. Snap it on a little tighter. First and 10. More flags before the snap. Busy first quarter for Penn Wagers and his crew. Wagers our referee today.
Well, partner, here's where the youth and inexperience on that Florida defense is really coming into play. The energy level was up, but you can ill afford at a certain point in time. We're midway through or past the first quarter now. They need to settle down a little bit and start executing defensively.
You know, we talked to Ron Zook about the youth of this team. He said, yeah, they're young. It's a tough schedule. I love it. It is what it is. Plain and simple. 1st and 5 now for the Volunteers.
They've got man coverage, and here comes the blitz package. Florida is coming on the blitz.
Oh, the Iceman staying calm. Pressure. He throws a hot slant. Complete. Jason Swain makes the catch. And let's go back to Tim Brando in New York.
All right, Craig. Bowling Green has won 6.
They play it every week.
Well, it's been a challenging year, could I say, for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Clausen steps out of pressure, spins out to the 44-yard line. Clausen, you know, he's 6'4", 225. You think of him as a pure pocket passer, but you could see there he still is very nimble and can escape when he needs to.
Well, Randy Sanders, his offensive coordinator, is the next quarterback, and he knows he's got mobility. He can stand around in there, but they want him to, if he does move, to move in the pocket. Randy's a sharp guy. He understands that his quarterback, Casey Clausen, is physical. He showed toughness last year, played much of the season with a separated shoulder. But at the end of the day, that violates what they're trying to establish themselves to do offensively.
From the eye, 2nd down, could be the final play of this quarter. And now the officials step in. And the clock.
Looking at those rushing numbers a few minutes ago, it was almost like they were swapping jerseys if we didn't know any better.
2nd down, 8 for Casey Clausen from the eye. Here comes the blitz. Little pump. Trying to get man coverage, and it's a floater picked off. Intercepted by the strong safety, Gus Scott. Casey Clausen this season. Ingle Martin checks back in at quarterback for the Florida Gators. 2 on the play clock. It's down to 1. Did he get it off? No. Flags.
You can't underestimate that. He's played every game the last 2 years. Not having him certainly hurts.
Ciatric Faison, the 4th running back we've seen the Gators go to. A sophomore from Neptune Beach, Florida, gets his first carry. You know, Max Starks, he called, I want a ring.
Until they get him back. But he sets the tone not just for him, but the entire unit.
Gators with that hurry-up offense. Caldwell was tackled at the 41-yard line. 3 wideouts, top of your screen, 2 to the lower. Ingle Martin by himself in the backfield. Low snap. Sets up, throws, in traffic, complete. Again, Caldwell. 6-yard pickup. Caldwell, Spencer, I get a feeling beginning to be one of...
Cover 2 zone. Now the receivers have to do is just pick the empty holes and sit down.
43 yards and penalties. Faison off the right side. We go back to Tim Brando in our New York studios. Tim.
All right, Craig, we were talking about bouncing back.
Out of bounds back here in Gainesville at the 42-yard line. Kind of a Caldwell kind of drive here for the Gators. The strong safety, Jabril Wilson, drove him out.
Yeah, that's an exciting thing for this Florida offense. And talking to Ron Zook, one of the reasons why Kewan has not had much action on the offensive side of the ball is because of the emergence of the young wide receivers. Caldwell among them, Baker another one. Pretty talented group here.
3rd down and 2. Check that first down after the play by Caldwell, and not much that time as Faison was pushed back. Mondre Dickerson, the right defensive tackle.
Hey, folks, put this play in your book right here. You see the naked right here? Watch him come out. No one had contained on the outside. Depending on who's under center, you will see Tennessee play leverage to the outside. In that particular case is Ingle Martin. They don't expect him to run, but if Leak is back there, they will work to the outside to contain.
Rand Carthon back in the backfield for the Gators. Pitch and catch. It's caught. O.J. Small. Incomplete.
They almost had that bubble screen working back there, confusing with a lot of bodies and traffic, and they'll throw that a lot. Both teams stretching the field horizontally now, trying to settle into their game plans.
Well, Ron Zook has proven early in this game he does not hesitate to go deep into his bench, both at running back and wide receiver. Ingle Martin's numbers, 3 of 4 for 21 yards, sharing duties with Chris Leak. That brings up 3rd down and 10. Movement flags.
We're seeing an interesting pattern here now as Florida gets closer in. Now, Coach Chavis and hopefully get a big play.
6 flags now, Spencer, for 48 yards in the first half. For the Gators, 3 for Tennessee. Snap count. Ingle Martin sets up, throws across the middle. Tough throw. Had it. Dropped it. Now they're going to call it complete. Nice catch by the tight end for a moment, but he did not have control. The ruling on the field, that's been true.
Well, you know, you deliver the package, and Ingle Martin does a great job with the eyes, working front side and coming back, but Troop has got to seat that ball, control it, and then bring it in. It's one thing to catch it. Watch the eyes flash back here real quick, and then come back underneath the Troop. He's an athletic, talented guy, but you got to make the payoff catch there.
Rashad Baker at the 15. Baker at the 24-yard line. A 32-yard punt. And a timeout at the Swamp. State and Marshall, they had a week off. Next week, South Carolina, then it's Auburn. Cedric Houston in the backfield takes the handoff and is tackled down, in fact, written down. That Crowder again. Channing Crowder off to a fine start in this first half of play for the Florida Gators.
Craig, there's just nothing up front. I mean, you got to run because that's what you do if you're Philip Fulmer. But that young Florida defensive front, the 7 players up there have really shut down this vaunted Vols rushing attack. And here's the thing, Volunteers are trying to reestablish themselves. I mean, we had the nondescript year last year rushing the ball, which wasn't their style. This year, they're trying to get back. Nothing doing today.
Under 12 minutes left before the half. Little in round. Still on his feet. Breaks the tackle. Mark Jones and finally Reed Fleming makes the tackle, but not after a 24-yard pickup. One of the most versatile players on this Tennessee football team.
Well, here's a little trigonometry coming. The motion, he comes around on the outside, back the other direction, outside contained. And you got pressure from that side. It's going to force it all the way back across the field. Great job of catching up with the runner. Vision, eyes, seeing it, getting upfield, put the ball in the outside hand when you work that other sideline, though.
1st and 10, Tennessee at midfield. Clausen flags her down, stops play.
Well, you know, one of the things when you want to...
So a no flag is the call on the field, and also a timeout has been called here in Gainesville at the Swamp. 10:55 before the half. In Knoxville, Tennessee, overtime. Tennessee's Jeff Holt's 41-yard field goal put the Vols up by 3. Florida's Collins Cooper, his turn, misses from 32 yards out, giving Tennessee the 2017 win in Knoxville. And down, of course, goes the goalpost.
That costs a little coin there, bro.
3 points separating Florida and Tennessee.
Tony Brown is the guy that was on the big reverse a few minutes ago. He's an outstanding talent, and really, in a nondescript game offensively, as far as I'm concerned, that's been the one highlight.
He's been troubled with the groin pull. Fumble, Gators at the 50. Mo Mitchell was there, and looked like the football over already in this half. 2 for Tennessee. The pick by Clausen, and now the fumble by Cedric Houston.
Well, you know you can't make mistakes when you're in this place. It's loud, it's hostile territory. Your history doesn't bear witness that you're fair well here.
Little option pitch. Deshaun Wynn from Ingle Martin. Good down line pursuit by Tennessee. Clock runs. Under 11 minutes before half.
Now, Craig, in my opinion, this is the most important drive today, because if now Tennessee finds himself down 10, they're going to be forced to do what they don't want to do. They don't want to drop back and just pass the ball. They would much rather establish their line of scrimmage with their run game.
Again from the shotgun of that hurry-up offense. Win to the 50. Last week, Wynn ran for 95 yards, 3 touchdowns, also caught an 8-yard touchdown pass. He's off to a fine collegiate start with the Florida Gators. Third down, ball showing blitz, here they come. Martin stands up, pressure, throws, caught at the 35-yard line. Gators moving the football. First down at the 34-yard line. From the eye, quick drop. Picked off at the 31. I don't know what happened there, if it was a misread. But Tennessee comes up with a big interception. And that's Mark Jones.
Well, see, the thing that Mark does right here, first of all, Ingle telegraphs his pass. He is staring down that outcut from the time he comes underneath center. You got to at least look down the middle of the field to freeze Mark as Mark makes his break on the ball. Sometimes this is a game of inches. Eyes down the field as opposed to staring down your target can be the difference in an interception and you scoring and putting your team up 10 points.
Second interception thrown by Ingle Martin. I had to take a second look. You know, Mark Jones, I mentioned, was versatile. He lines up at wideout. He'll jump into the secondary as he just did. Special teams player and punt return. Play clock close. They get it off with 1 to spare. Jabari Davis, the ball carrier.
Well, now opportunity doesn't knock. You can't necessarily, despite their youth, anticipate Florida turning the ball over that frequently. I think what Casey Clausen and the Tennessee Volunteers got to do is make points off turnovers. So far, the numbers tell you they're not adept at doing it.
Second down and 8. Under 9 minutes left. Clock running. First half. Reed Fleming stacks up Houston. Well, I tell you, the gaps are shut down and closed up in a hurry.
Well, it's the pursuit at the point of attack that does it. When you got Kenny Parker, Dowdy up front, all of those guys, Durley, tremendous talent up front. They are making the way clear on that defensive front so that those linebackers can free flow. These are new young groups back there in that flowing secondary area at the weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker, and middle linebacker. But their success is made possible by that front four.
Baxter split, shotgun on third down. Clausen, good protection, throws up over the middle, incomplete.
And so you got to catch that. You're going to get zoned. They're still managing to get pressure on Casey Clausen. But so far, he's been thawed by that Florida defense.
Colquitt. Low snap, high kick. Good hang time, fair catch. called by Kewan Ratliff at the 29-yard line. A 38-yard boot by Colquitt and a timeout. Florida by 3. Chris Leak in a quarterback for the Florida Gators. Throws near side, drops off the fingertips of O.J. Small.
The youngster looked like he had a string on the end of that ball. I mean, he's got a great ball. He's just got to come back.
Shotgun, Leak sets it up, throws to the flat. Carthon tried to break the tackle. Nice shoestring stop at the 32-yard line.
If Carthon has a little bit more giddy up, the screen was set properly. You know, when you get defenders coming up the field, pushing, you're going to have some opportunities to pop these plays. The screen was established. You got to weave your way through there as a running back and pull out of those little arm tackles. He's big and strong enough to make it happen.
Jason Mitchell, who backs up Burnett at the weak side linebacker position, got the shoestring tackle. 3rd down and 7. Gators on the day, 4 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Nice throw right on the button. O.J. Small with the grab. Move the chains. 1st down Gators at the
Right squarely in the pocket.
This time last year, got to remind you again, Independence High School out of Charlotte, North Carolina. For Chris Leak. Carthon. Boy, a lot of running room. Picks up 8, maybe 9. Officially 8 for Carthon. Rand said, you know what? Dad I don't want to get lectured too often. Every Friday we make time for one another.
Well, I know our colleague Phil Sims had that same problem with his son Chris when he was at Texas.
Ball pops free. I believe they'd already whistled it down. Yeah, at the 40. Tennessee, though, playing heads up. Clock at the 6-minute mark.
Well, plenty of time up front and plenty of protection. Again, exploiting the zone protection for Tennessee. We'll see if they go to man coverage down here once again in that 40-yard line area where they have a tendency to do that.
2 wideouts near side, Leak in the shotgun.
They're rolling to the 3, which is a form of man, showing blitz.
Long snap count. Leak steps up, throws on a string. Boy, that is just too easy right now. Carlos Perez, his first grab. 4 of 5 for Leak, 32 yards. 1st and 20 now at the 50. Stepping up, making the grab. Kite with a 2nd catch. Had 37 last season as a junior. And Paris, the strong safety, Gerard Parrish, a true freshman, with the stop.
Adjusting his defense accordingly and trying to put pressure on Chris Leak.
Well, Florida really spreads that field in that formation. They got 5 wideouts. And Leak on a hot streak right now. Throws again. And the streak continues. The ball was stripped after the completion. And Tennessee gets the turnover. Boy, you keep clawing, and that ball will pop out.
Pressure on the outside, working to the point of attack. No match. Lee, Johnny on the spot. Casey Clausen's got it. Big number 96 staring him down.
A loss of 8. 2nd down, 18. Under 4 minutes left. Again, pressure. Clausen pulls it down, now throws to the far side. Spinning out of a tackle. Nice run by Houston. Holcomb with the tackle after a pickup of 16.
Yeah, it's plus yardage, partner, but I think what you're noticing is that every time Casey Clausen has the ball in his hands, in close tow are a bunch of Florida players all over him. He's managing this half so far pretty decent after the nondescript start.
The 2 sacks, but look at that, Spencer. You're right. 7 hurries. Harassed all afternoon. Tennessee 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. Clausen throws complete at midfield, close to a 1st down, and a nice grab by Swain. Jason Swain, a pickup of 14 and a first down for Tennessee.
Now, see, the thing that Casey had this time is protection in the pocket. Look at the protection there. He is Iceman when he's not being bothered. He does a great job of exploiting the zone coverage underneath, but when he's under duress, it's been a different story.
Swain, a freshman, with 2 catches from Clausen for 28 yards. The drive is alive, and the clock under 3 minutes before half. 56 yards passing for Clausen. Boy, high snap. Pulled it down, able to hand it off, but only a couple of yards. And the ball carrier was Fleming.
Well, the turnovers are always going to be a factor in any game. Pressure again, Casey Clausen.
There's a fact, no points off those turnovers.
To their credit. Tremendous job.
Gators coming up on the line, showing blitz. Clausen, again pressured, dances out of trouble, and falls up to the 45-yard line. 3 tough yards. Daryl Dixon, the free safety, made the tackle.
You know, Casey Clausen's a stalwart quarterback. He's going to get protection for a while, but
crowd on their feet at the Swamp, and Clausen will step back to the shotgun. And now a timeout. Timeout, Tennessee. 1:09 to play in the half.
The press is...
Boy, it is loud at the Swamp. 3rd down 5 for Clausen in Tennessee.
unabated.
Swings out of trouble, throws incomplete, but the Gators are biting. They just keep coming after Casey Clausen. That charge led by Ray McDonald. Red 10-yard line.
Flag now.
Flag at the 45, and we've seen plenty of yellow on this field in this first half.
And warning, University of Florida.
Sideline. Beauty. Ratliff, one bounce, tipped, and a touchback. Boy, good coverage. Time now for the Home Depot coach's decision in 1990. I think that was a pretty good coaching decision.
Yeah.
Deshaun Wynn as the Gators run some clock up to around the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 4. 40 ticks left on the second quarter clock, and a timeout called. Timeout, Florida Gators. Ingle Martin, 5 of 10 on the afternoon to this point, 43 yards. 1 interception. Shotgun is Martin. Looks downfield, sets up, throws incomplete. Trying to put a toe down was Dallas Baker, number 81, sophomore out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
I think that the issue when you're Ingle, you're coming out to your left. You're having to set up, being forced outside the pocket, trying to throw back to your left when you're right-handed. So you got to square up. That's a tough pass to make.
An incompletion stops the clock. 33 seconds before we go to half. 3rd down, 4 now for the Gators. Stuffed. Carthon had a good head of steam going, but he ran into 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys. Mondre Dickerson led that charge. 300-pounder. Timeout, and we'll be back to Gainesville. Inside his 15, heavy pressure, got the kick away. Rashad Baker at the 26, heads near sideline at the 35, steps out of bounds. It stops the clock with 16 ticks. Heads up play by Baker, so Tennessee will get a couple plays away before halftime. A 46-yard boot.
Big Philip Fulmer was chomping at the bit to get a timeout before the break, and he thinks he can get a field goal out of this. But so far, he really hadn't set himself up to have passing success. The run game, for the most part, as you can see, still under 100 yards. That's a total. They're usually got one back that's got that by the end of the day.
You see the total yards fairly even, and a couple of turnovers for each team in this first half of play. It's been a strange paced game with over 10 flags thrown in this first half.
If you're a rhythm quarterback or rhythm running back, it's very difficult to thrive in an atmosphere like this.
Gators again showing blitz. Clausen clapping for the ball. Shotgun, swings it out. Sets up the screen. Big yards, and of course the Gators just playing soft to let that clock run. But Houston picks up big yards. First down, they'll mark him at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 13. 7 seconds on the second quarter clock. Clausen goes under center. Spikes it down. Stops the clock with 4 ticks.
What's he going to do, kick it? I think he's probably going to set up for one last shot at the end zone.
One deep ball at midfield.
Let me take a guess. Probably what they'll do is come down here in a bunch formation, either to the near field. Big Philip Fulmer is going to try to take a shot at the end zone. The far side of the field where he's got a lot of room to work with. And indeed, they come out trips this near side. And they're just going to throw it up down the field.
Gators playing soft zone in the secondary as Clausen walks it back, now steps and throws. Deep ball, end zone, bodies. Oh my God! Touchdown Tennessee!
What a play.
Hail Mary, James Banks with the touchdown.
Most dangerous plays in all of football because you're on your own in space. It's anybody's ball. Casey, I don't know why he's looking front side. He doesn't have a receiver over there, but he comes back eventually between a crowd of receivers, and lo and behold, talk about divine intervention.
Extra point. Will Hoyt, and the freshman kicks it true, and look at this from the end zone. What a throw by Clausen. Got it deep. The tip and the catch. James Banks, the sophomore from Indianapolis.
Well, the mistake that Florida defenders make is when that ball is at its highest point, don't try to pull it in, bat it down to the ground. Leaves it up in the air too long.
Let's go down and talk to Tracy Wolfson. Tracy?
Thanks, Craig. Coach, what a way to go into the half. I mean, momentum going into it, except you've struggled offensively. What is wrong with this Tennessee offense?
Well, we've got a lot to do right now at halftime, making corrections or whatever. We obviously haven't been ourselves. A great Southeastern Conference defensive, tough football game, and I'm proud of our defense. We just need to get untracked on offense. We really hadn't found ourselves just yet. In Florida, you got to give them some of that credit, but we'll get it going.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Here's one more look as the first half comes to an end. The tip, and Banks, James Banks, puts Tennessee up 7-3. That ends the first half. Volunteers up by 4. We now take you back to our New York studio, and here's Tim Brando. Tim?
Wow. Thanks, Craig. Coming up on the Earthlink Halftime Report, Tom Coughlin and I will have all of today's scores and highlights, including Big Ten teams in trouble, after this word from your local station.
Charlie.
On the ricochet. 7-3 Tennessee, and we'll be back after this. First half penalties and 2 strong defenses.
Well, I tell you what, to borrow a line from Dickens, it was like the best of times and the worst of times for both teams. That Hail Mary withstanding, both teams have not really been impressive, and no one seems to want to win this contest. We will see if Tennessee can take that momentum into the second half.
Let's take a look at the halftime numbers, Spencer, in this game. Scoring very low, and I think you make a point. I don't know if both teams, they haven't found themselves at all yet in the first half of play.
Well, we certainly know that Tennessee wants to run the football, and I think at the end of the day, Philip Fulmer told us if he can get 100 yards or more from one single back, first of all, they need to get it as a unit, an entire team. They'll be better off. And we know that Florida, historically, it doesn't matter who's calling the shots, Steve Spurrier or Ed Zonbreaker, they want to pass the football.
No return off the kick, and on a knee, 5 yards deep. And let's go down. Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks, Craig. I spoke to Ron Zook as he came back out onto the field.
Steve Spurrier, who moved on to the National Football League, and the Gators will have the football to start this third quarter. Little delayed draw, and running hard is Rand Carthon. Not much.
And so Tennessee, what they're doing now in the second half to establish themselves, they're getting a little bit more aggressive. They opened up conservatively with their zone package, and now they had a little combination deals working between the linebacker and the defensive end that last play. So they obviously want to force the issue and gain momentum from what they had in the first half.
39 rushing yards in the first half. Ingle Martin, shotgun, pulls it down once around, hits sideline, makes a little move, 25, 27-yard line. Ingle Martin showing a little shake and bake as Simon, the strong side backer, with the tackle.
See, that's a heads up.
Letting Martin gain a couple extra yards. 43 yards passing. Third down tries, 4 of 9 for the Gators. Martin under pressure. Down he goes inside the 20 at the 17-yard line.
You know, as long as Ingle gets pressure from that left side and he's a right-handed quarterback, it's going to cause problems for him. Anywhere, he's got to flush himself to his right. If he comes down this way and try to set up again as a right-handed quarterback, watch him move out of the pocket. That's not going to work. Even if he had an open receiver, he would have to square his shoulders, set up, and then release that ball. That takes too much time for aggressive defense.
Wilbur, the punter. Nice high hanger at the 41. Rashad Baker. Stop and go. Nearly to midfield. A 40-yard kick. Stephen Harris with the special teams tackle. Tennessee 7-3 over Florida. Tennessee, Houston and Fleming in the backfield as Houston takes the pitch. Finds a lane and falls forward inside Gator territory at the 46-yard line. Reed Fleming with the stop along with Ferrier, and there's the cool zone. Well, that's a good place to be right now.
That's what you need, and they've got those new uniforms too that they can inject some air in there, keep them cool, but you got to have those fans. See, those fans are requisite for offensive linemen in particular.
Hard day of running for Houston. 10 carries, 22 yards. He's third ranked nationally, coming in with 160 and change. Gets the call again. Past the 45, they'll mark him at the 44-yard line.
Well, Cedric does a great job of picking and getting plus yardage there, but I'll tell you what, if he breaks past that line of scrimmage, because they're so aggressive and they're choosing to play man coverage, there's not a whole lot underneath to stop him from hitting his head on the goalpost.
Hey, Spencer, from an old running back's perspective, what is Florida doing so well to put the clamps on Cedric Houston?
Well, first of all, they're playing tremendous protection as far as their man-to-man coverage selections. That's what they're doing. If you can put every man on a man and make him responsible, do your assignment, that's good.
Third down and short. Pitch near side. Cutting back. And Darrell Lee's had himself a football game as Houston is slow to get up. He took a hard shot by 86. Darrell Lee, 6'4", 270.
Well, it was a nice design play, you know, action away and then nakedly throw it out there to your back going the direction. The problem is you don't necessarily have a convoy out there to block for you. So you run the risk of doing that. You've got an active linebacker.
4th and 1. And Tennessee chooses to go for it early in this third quarter. Keeper. Lawson dives behind Wells and Douglas.
He's going to get the first down.
Well, that spot, Spencer, I'm looking at it almost from an eyeball's view here. It's mighty close.
I think he got it by 2 lengths, though. Look at Casey. He's dinged up a little bit. See that little cramp action there, a little water? See, he needs to go get that fan. We were,
yeah. You know what? Don't go. Just wheel it out.
Yeah. And they can do that. They got plenty of time right now.
Stretch the chains, and it was about 6 lengths. First down, Tennessee, and Clawson trying to stretch it out a little bit. His backup is C.J. Leak, who happens to be the brother of Chris Leak, the Florida Gator quarterback. Boy, cramping can happen in conditions like this. Hot, humid. You got to stay hydrated. And he has been chased all day.
Well, not only is he losing water, he's losing his mouthpiece, too. I mean, this humidity is something else. You lose it and don't even know you're losing that much. You got to constantly hydrate.
Play action, throw the flat, ball was batted down. Reed Fleming got a paw up, number 40. Crowd very much in it here at the Swamp. 2 on the play clock. Clausen just gets it off. Look for the screen, now he forced to run. Sidearms, nearly intercepted. Daryl Dixon would like to have that pass back to free safety. 6 of 15 for Clausen, 117. Of course, he got big yardage on that Hail Mary to Banks just before half. Clausen stumbles, tucks at the 35-30, and a first down for Tennessee. Johnny Lamar made the tackle after a pickup of 11. Boy, Clausen, ankle, calf, hard to say.
Well, he's still limping around. We know that much. He gets stepped on there. His offensive left guard, left tackle backs up on him and crushes his heel. He was already cramping up. Casey did a great job of making the most out of a bad situation.
Clausen looking to the sideline. And there's C.J. Leak, a senior from Charlotte. As I mentioned, he is the older brother of Chris Leak, the true freshman who backs up or really shares time with Ingle Martin for the Florida Gators.
Now, last year when Casey went down with the separated shoulder, he got a lot of action last season. So it's not like they're putting in a guy that hadn't been there before, if they have to.
And a timeout by Tennessee.
Timeout. Tennessee.
Giving Clausen a chance to rest a bit. 7-3 balls. Clausen got some ice. It looked to be that the calf muscle. First down, Tennessee at the 30 of Florida.
Craig, the thing is going to cure his cramps is not putting ice on the outside. You got to get some hydration, get some fluids in him. You work from the inside out on that problem.
Corey Larkins, number 23, the tailback. Gators showing blitz. Here they come. They fake the end round. Clausen, pocket collapses, and down he goes at the 39. Rough day for Cedric Houston. 12 carries, spends for 25 yards. Clausen second down, shotgun. They let the pressure come. The ball was tipped and nearly intercepted. Ray McDonald playing a big game. And for an update out of New York, indeed, Clausen this half 0 for 3 in the passing department. Play clock winded down 2-1. Did he get it off? Yeah, pressure. He may wish they hadn't. As Todd McCullough. No passing yards this half. By the way, that was delay of game, so that was no play, no sack. So take the 4th sack off the board. 3 wideouts, top of your screen.
They're going to get another blitz off the top of the corner. He's undebated.
They're down 23. Jason Swain, his 3rd catch. Gators just kind of dropping back, playing it safe, and pick up a 9.
I'll give him a little credit for coming back with a play that really can't be considered a conservative play. After you get knocked in the chops a couple of times, you know, historically it's been Phillips' way to kind of go back to what got him here, and that's that run game. But give Randy Sanders credit for stepping up with a play.
Field goal try by the true freshman, James Wilhoit. This will be from 51. Good snap, good hold. Kick is away long enough. Got it. From 51. Look at Phil and Fulmer dancing. 18-year-older hits it from 51. 9:27 left in that 3rd quarter. One more time. James Wilhoit, true freshman from Hendersonville, Tennessee. 51 yards, and I think that would have been good from 55 or more. 11 plays, 18 yards. Hey, there's Smokey 8.
He's tired after that kick.
You know what? He's standing in front of the fan.
Now, see, that's where Casey Clausen should have been a few minutes ago.
Will Hoyt teed up at the 35. Strong leg. 7 yards deep, no return. All right, time for our Aflac trivia question answer. Football and NFL Halls of Fame. Answer: Doug Atkins. There he is. Cleveland Browns, Bears, Saints, Tennessee from 50 to 52. Chris Leak, now quarterbacking the Gators. Deshaun Wynn in the backfield. Leak pulls it out, throws, caught, tight end, Truth. Oh, he hurdles. Still on his feet at the 45. Augusta, Georgia. Big play for the Florida Gators. 1st and 10 at the 45. Well, Monday on an all-new late show, Dave and Dr. Phil go at it again. That was good.
He was playing baseball at some AAA club or something.
Leak shotgun, steps and fires, short pass but complete at midfield. Kelvin Kite brings it down, a pickup of 3. Antoine Stewart, the right corner, with the tackle. Leak now, it's short stuff, but it's effective. 7 of 8 on the afternoon for Leak.
Well, I referred to him as an out pitch in the opening of the show. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things. He throws a tremendous ball, and he also can run the option, so he's a double threat.
5 wide receivers set. Leak runs out of the pocket, points, throws, and smartly into the student section. About two rows deep. Mondre Dickerson bringing heat from his right tackle spot.
Well, there you saw a little bit of his mobility. I mean, to be able to get to the numbers against a fast pursuing Tennessee front and then that linebacking core as well shows you a little bit of the speed that this kid has.
That snaps a string of 7 straight completions for the true freshman, Chris Leak. Rashad Baker set to return the punt from Wilbur. Baker lets it go at the 10. And Tennessee is going to be stuck deep at the 6-yard line. Chad Jackson back there to haul it in for the Gators, a 44-yard punt. Tennessee by 7. Jabari Davis, Troy Fleming in the backfield. Tough running. Let's go back to New York for a college football update, and here's Tim Brando. Tim?
All right, Craig.
One of those kind of injuries that can humble a speedster in a hurry.
Stop you in mid-stride. Gators plug up the middle, little room for Tennessee. And crashing out to around the 16-yard line is Jabari Davis, knocked down by Scott, the strong safety.
We're talking about that second level here. He's going to find a hole here, but there's not a whole lot of defense back here once you get past that area. See that? You got to have your safety coming high out of the hole to make the tackle. That's the last line of defense. Jabari does a fine job of finding the void, getting up in there for plus yardage.
Tennessee has some breathing room now. You see his numbers on the season. Incredible per carry average of just over 7 yards. They'll get the call again, turns the corner. Jumps and is tackled at the 25. That will bring up 2nd down, call it 2, maybe 3. Clock runs under 7 minutes left in this 3rd quarter.
That's a good little football play. That's the kind of football that Philip Fulmer wants to play. Slow, control the game, get your backs up the field, making 4 or 5 yards at a pop. That's winning football right there.
Well, this running game for Tennessee ranked 10th in the country, number 2 in the SEC. They came in at over 248 yards a game on the ground. Oh, nice low hit by Fleming. Reed Fleming, the senior from Panama City, Florida.
Well, Reed read that like a book, and I'll tell you, he was Johnny on the spot on that play, because when you look at the athleticism on this Florida team, you cannot be everywhere, or at least appear to be, without playing disciplined defense. So these guys are not only smart, they're athletic as well.
3rd down and 3. Gators bring in an extra defensive back. And Clausen scans the defense and says, let's call timeout.
Their second timeout of the half.
Tennessee by 7, and we'll be back. For Tennessee. Clausen rolling. Pressure. Throws out of bounds. That brings up 4th down. And Darrell Lee, he'll get a game ball for sure.
Well, Darrell Lee has been running and chasing from the first kickoff, but let's give Casey Clausen credit, because in the first half he wouldn't have thrown that ball away. The ill-advised interception that he had early on, he was trying to force a play and make it. Casey threw it away when he didn't have an option.
No flag on that play, so 4th down for Tennessee. Four punts, 42.5 yards. His longest Colquitt's is 48. Wow.
Well, that's clutch.
Takes a ball, bounce, out of bounds, inside the 10 at the 9. 67 yards. Well, Sunday on CBS. Ingle Martin, the quarterback for the Gators. 1st and 10 at the zone 9-yard line. Little play action rollout. Steps up and throws to his tight end. Troop tries to hurdle again. Took 3 volunteers to bring him down.
Otherwise, he'll run rush shot for your defense like he has in the 2 big plays in the shallow cross.
Gators with some room now to move at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10. There's like some confusion. And so Martin's game today, Tennessee with nearly 200 yards of total offense. Ingle Martin under pressure and had to short arm that ball to Dallas Baker, number 81.
Well, he got pressure on that last play, and again, I think every time we've seen Ingle Martin have problem is when he was setting up, moving either to his left and having to stand back in the pocket and come back to his left from his right movement. And, you know, when you got pressure up front coming at you, well, that's a tough task to ask the quarterback to move this direction and then set up and throw.
Ingle Martin, 6 of 13, 65 yards passing. Low snap. Take one way, go the other. Face on, out of bounds at around the 31-yard line.
Double screen, defense exceptionally well by Tennessee on that play. It looked like a potential jailbreak. And that's the crazy thing about screens. And all of a sudden you see a guy wide open, then because you're playing zone typically behind it, you converge and you get your assignment down. And so a play that looks like it's going to be a big one winds up being an average game.
You look at some of those numbers flash by, and Spencer is very close in all categories. Even the turnovers are even at 2-2. Martin, shotgun, darts up and over, nearly picked and dropped. Oh, how would Rashad Baker like to say, bring it back. Look at that push-ups.
Well, Baker had to find the zone and split the difference in that zone. And worked his way right there, but the ball was high and behind him.
Baker back to receive the punt from Wilbur. Look at that bounce. Still rolling. Couldn't save it. Touchback. 68-yard punt. They've been booming them here at the Swamp. Premiering Tuesday here on CBS, the Naval Criminal. Something we'll revisit, I know, in the 4th quarter. Field position. Jabari Davis in that backfield for Tennessee. Again, hard running, but not much. Let's go back to New York. Here's Tim Brando.
Tough sledding for Joe Paterno.
But all the signs are there.
Many believe he'll do it on his own terms if necessary. Clausen the handoff, and this time the hole opens, and Jabari Davis picks up 9, knocked down by Scott and Crowder.
Now this is Tennessee football here. You know the line of scrimmage is established as the counter trade. The Washington Redskins made that play very, very successful down to the heyday years of them. Volunteers doing the same today.
They gave Davis a gain of 7, so 3rd down and 3. Very loud at the Swamp. Davis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue jerseys surround Jabari Davis, and again Crowder, the true freshman from Atlanta, has been on many plays this afternoon.
You know, you're not going to pass the ball very much. You can't necessarily expect that from Randy Sanders or Philip Fulmer down here, but this would be a great opportunity to go play action, maybe move Casey out of that pocket and take advantage of those pursuing linebackers and try to make a play happen. I mean, right now they're hunkering down at that line of scrimmage, 8, sometimes 9 men in the box. Not much given there.
You heard some boos from this crowd at the Swamp as Davis goes out for a rest, just enough for a 1st down at the 30-yard line. 2:45 remaining, 3rd quarter. Tennessee by a touchdown. Crowder again. There he is, 55.
And see, when you play this kind of defense, you, like Crowder, have got to make those shoestring tackles, because once again, that particular play, they're playing zone behind it. And if they're manned up, that means that everyone has someone that they're responsible for. Crowder did a tremendous job shoestring tackle in that last play.
Now I would think for Crowder, too, a true freshman, he has to feel some confidence knowing that he's got 4 seniors that back him up in that secondary.
That's the strength of this Florida team. It's their secondary on defense. They've got a lot of returning talent there.
Pitch coming near side. Boy, hard running, and Johnny Lamar makes the tackle. Corey Larkins, a junior, who only had 5 carries coming into this game, but with Houston on the sideline, you think Larkins will get some time now with Jabari Davis, a pickup of 11.
Yeah, you're going to get pressure here, pushing, stretching it, and then you're going to have lanes in the back. See, one of the things that marks Tennessee's style, when they get that sweep working, because this Florida defense runs and chases, there will always be lanes open on the backside of that play. But you got to get them out there respecting the perimeter first of all.
Another 1st down for Tennessee at the 42-yard line. I formation. Clausen, quick drop, throws, has man coverage, a floater. Haynes got it! Did he get in? Tagged him at the 1.
Well, Randy Sanders waited a while to throw the ball, but he picked his spots, and boy, I tell you what, the timing on that was perfect. Gus Scott got turned around back there in defense. Again, give up the credit for the protection. Casey not under duress this time. Look at Gus, gets turned around between zone coverage there. A tremendous job. Gets the shoestring tackle there near the end. But Casey Clausen throws it up there and lets his receiver make a play.
Hey, Brett Smith, he's 8th on the depth chart. A freshman from Warren, Arkansas, makes that big catch of 57 yards. 1st and goal, up and over, touchdown, Tennessee. Jabari Davis, and he caught some good air.
Well, you know, down here on the goal line, most of the time you want to keep your feet underneath you, but when you get some push or surge along that line right there, you're going to be able to get over the top because everybody's digging their heels in and trying to just hunker down and create a stalemate. Jabari Davis getting wings, lift up.
Davis with his 3rd scoring touchdown, rushing this season. The extra point is good. 7 plays, Spencer, 80 yards, and it took 3:25 off the clock.
Well, it sounds like you're stating the obvious to say that Tennessee is in control of this game, but when you consider the nature of the pace of this game, how it's gone, no one really willing to take shots down the field, it's going to be difficult to make up this deficit for Florida, despite how prolific they have been on offense in the past.
So Brett Smith off the bench, a freshman, 6'3", makes the big leaping grab and goes to the 1-yard line. Jabari Davis finishes it off with a 1-yard dive, and it's 17-3 Tennessee in the swamp. 2 years ago, Tennessee in a shootout right here in Gainesville, winning 34-32.
So right now, I think if you're Ed Zondrecker, the offensive coordinator for Florida, you've now got to start to open up what you're doing. We asked him yesterday if he scripted his plays. He says he doesn't script them per se. As we take a look at Jabari Davis, he says what he does do, enter every game with a sense of what he wants to accomplish. And as it goes along, he's making notes on the side. This is what they're doing, how they're responding to the formation. There should be a surge down here near the end of the game.
Has it teed up. Kelvin Kite at the 5. Kite at the 15, 20, breaks a tackle, stood up and dropped at the 21. Hey, Spencer, let's take you back to that first win of the swamp. We were talking about the date, December 1st, 2001. Tennessee finally knocked off the Gator off its back with their first win since 1971. The Vols were led by Travis Stevens, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, 34-32 the win in Gainesville.
What a back Stevens turned out to be. Everybody thought he was a little bit too small to fall in that same genre as the Tennessee backs. Jamal Lewis, Jabari Davis now.
481 on the season. Did you see that? Yeah. Less than 175 today. Jabril Wilson makes the tackle on O.J. Small. A pickup at 12. Under a minute left in this third quarter. A lot of football left here at the Swamp.
See, here's where the pace is going to pick up. Ed is getting ready to open up his offense right now. Move the pocket around, get the ball downfield.
Ingle Martin, the more experienced of the 2 quarterbacks we've seen today. Chris Leak, the true freshman. Martin, a redshirt sophomore.
Moving his back over to get maximum protection.
They fake the draw. And Tennessee tip the hat for just staying home. I mean, Robert Peace, he could have bit, but he was there to tackle Martin.
Well, John Chavis guessed right on that particular play. I mean, he's a solid guy. He's going to put in a defensive scheme that's going to work most of the time. But that was that little naked fake that we saw earlier in the game. We thought Ingle Martin had a chance to come back to the near field, but Tennessee stayed at home defensively. Great job staying at home on defense.
Second down, 13. Final play of this quarter. Little hop and a skip, incomplete. Try to dig it off the turf was Troop, the tight end. That stops the clock. 3 ticks left. And third down and 13.
Well, Ingle Martin again had a string on the end of that ball. It just put in the dirt. And that happens when you're under pressure. But what the quarterback has got to do is one of 2 things. Settle in, abbreviate your step or your drop, deliver the ball early. It's a simple base route. You can make a play in that situation.
2 wide receivers, far side, shotgun. Movement up on that Tennessee defensive front.
Prior to the snap, ball starts, offense, 5-yard penalty. Now remains third.
Peace was jumping because the Gators were a little bit, had a hitch in the giddy up. 8 flags, 63 yards for the Gators. Tennessee settling down a bit. 4 early for 30.
That's 12 total penalties, though. I mean, that's a lot of mistakes in a game of this magnitude.
Now the third quarter clock runs dry. 15 minutes left here at the Swamp.
Please put 3 seconds on the clock. There's 3 seconds remaining.
So there will be a play. A few players that were headed to the sideline had to make that U-turn, Spencer, and come on back.
And you hate that, too. You know, you got yourself geared up, ready to put your 4 fingers up and ready for the fourth quarter, and now you got to come back and finish off some business. I hate that when that happens.
So 5 receivers, third down, 3 ticks on that third quarter clock. up, throws to the sideline, at midfield, and a nice grab on the run by Kelvin Kite. Baker chased him out. 24-yard pickup, and that ends the third quarter. Florida has not scored since that 47-yard field goal by Leach in the first quarter. But a bit of momentum as they completed that pass to end the third. Ingle Martin directing traffic, steps out of bounds. Clock stops at the 42-yard line. And let's go downstairs and let's check in with Tracy.
Thanks, Craig. It's close to 90 degrees down here, so it's no surprise that Mark Jones, who plays both sides for the Volunteers, is suffering from dehydration and cramps. He is right now in the locker room getting IV so he could be ready for the rest of the game. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Hot and very humid indeed. They throw near side. Gators still on the move. And one recovery nearly down was Andre Caldwell. Kept his feet. 11 yards.
Kewan Ratliff up in space. This guy's not supposed to be able to move like that. Racing like a lit fuse to the point to explode. Sean Young.
For more on Earthlings block of the...
First and 10, Florida Gators at the 26. Ingle Martin, pressure, flush, throws. Incomplete. Dallas Baker, the intended receiver. He's a big target at 6'3", only a sophomore.
Ingle having a tough time hitting his receivers on the move. He's being forced out of the pocket, trying to make plays. They're advancing the ball up the field, but when you get man-on-man coverage, which Tennessee's not going to give you very much of it, you got to take advantage of it.
Hurry-up offense by the Gators. Nothing on the rollout. Guess who? Ben Troop. You need a play, you go to Troop. Rashad Ben. On the ground. Big yards.
Start sliding out the responsibility, creating lanes between the tackles, and you can pop it in there for a 3 or 4 yard run. Down here, that's a score.
Second down and short. Volunteers showing blitz. Up the middle. And the power of Wynn. Fifth rushing touchdown on the season for Wynn, and the extra point. Short kick at the 10. At the 20. And stacked up at the 24-yard line. Spencer, let's take a look at this Tennessee offense for the afternoon. Just before half, the prayer. James Bank off the ricochet, made it 7-3 at the half, and then the foot of Will Hoyt, the freshman, 51 yards. And then Davis up and over. Javare Davis made it 17-3. Wynn just cut it down to 17-10. And that's where we stand here at the Swamp in Gainesville. 13:54 to play. And boy, they're trying to cool it off over there on the Tennessee side.
How about the alley-oop, though, a.k.a. RCO style.
Larkins, the tailback. He'll take the pitch. Coming near side. Shot down, and a late flag at the 25. Late flag was tossed. Penalty pushes Tennessee back to their own 15-yard line. Clausen under center. Crowder, 55. Very difficult to hear that deep on this side of the field at the 15-yard line.
Well, you know, combined with the humidity and the fact that this is sunken down, the noise doesn't escape out of here. Of course, they've added 10,000 seats. About more than half of those are outside, so the decibel level is going to go up even more.
On paper shaking up here in the booth. Clausen sets up and throws complete. And Swain, who has been a real safety valve for Clausen off the bench. Jason Swain makes a big catch, knocked down by Ratliff, the right corner.
Kewan's back there, and I'll tell you what, Swain does a great job of working against this zone coverage. This is not like Florida. Too many bodies too far away. I'm not sure if they're tired or not. But Clausen, after, I'm not so sure. Look at that. Denying the assist from Clausen.
That's Mo Mitchell.
Trying to be a gentleman. Mo Mitchell said, I'll have none of it.
Got the start today in place of Kenny Parker. Third down and 2. Two wide out, split to the near side. Little play action. Sideline toss. It's complete. And out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 38. Brown with the catch. Let's go back to New York. And here's Tim Brando.
Craig, Lydell Ross only had 2 career
backups there, and everybody's wondering. Of course, you can't replace Maurice Claret's athleticism, but I think they'll be fine. They got to worry about stopping people on defense and quit playing those close games.
Davis on the pitch. And again, the speed shown by Crowder and Hogan. Second down 7 for Tennessee at their own 41.
Casey wants to run a little out cut here real quick. Get rid of the ball.
He's changing it up.
Watch the inside receiver.
Looks inside. Checks off. Points downfield. Needs help and throws it away.
He wanted to come back to this near side because he saw loose coverage, and his inside receiver there had a chance to run the out cut. The key is he's got to see. The receiver's got to see the same thing Casey's got to see. You got to break. You can't run a 13-yard route when you're getting pressure up front.
Casey Clausen, 10 of 21. He's had some cramping, 207 yards through the air, 1 touchdown and a pick. But he is, look at that, hurried 14 times, been knocked down 10.
Despite all that, they're still up.
Big 3rd down and 8. 3 wide outs near side. Clausen steps back. Now he calls timeout.
Timeout. Tennessee.
3rd down and 8. Clausen steps back in the shotgun, steps up, steps back. Well, he's playing cat and mouse.
Yeah. He's confused what the coverage is. He needs to get out of this play.
Gators showing blitz, hot slant, connects, and stumbling to the 45-yard line. Johnny Lamar wraps up Hannon. 14 yards.
And see what Johnny did here. He did a great job of understanding I've got isolation coverage here. That's one-on-one inside the slant. The ball is in between the receiver and his body and the quarterback. That's very difficult to defend. Here you go on the inside. Present your numbers. Put it right there. Casey Clausen does a great job of recognizing single coverage and then seizing the opportunity.
First catch of the season for Hannon, a sophomore from Sarasota. First down. Jabari Davis in the backfield has the football, skips through the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Reed Fleming making the tackle. Now coming up next, stay tuned, doubleheader SEC action here on CBS.
I really like what Randy Sanders is doing on this drive, mixing it up, pass and run, a nice balance.
Quick hit up the middle, not much. Troy Fleming, the ball carrier.
How many times have we said his name today?
Quite a bit since Houston has been pushed out. You know, rushing was another story in this game. Tennessee first half, Florida first half fairly even, but the Volunteers opening it up on the ground with 65 yards in the second half of play.
And you know, if Tennessee scores on this drive, I mentioned the balance on this drive a moment ago, the run-pass ratio, 4 passes, 4 runs so far. I believe that's the mix. That's the winning formula for Tennessee.
Under 10 minutes left. Gators down a touchdown. Tennessee on the drive. Up the middle, big yards. Davis pushing to the 15-yard line. Travis Harris finally able to pull down the 225-pounder.
Well, Davis is going to come through here and work his way back and find a nice little soft area, skimming that defensive line, and finds a big old hole right there. And it's Katie Barr the door. Here's another look coming right at you. Securing the ball on the outside. Get your shoulder pads down low. Dixon in there on the tackle, but not before after a big gain by Davis.
Got a Gator down, in fact, now being helped off. That's the strong safety, the senior, Gus Scott. Understand Jabari Greer has been taken to the locker room for x-rays on his elbow and is doubtful to return to this one. Tennessee today 126 yards. First and 10, Vols at the 15 of Florida.
You know, Casey's got a great opportunity to hit the slant down here. I'm not sure he'll take it.
Up the middle they go. Inside the 10-yard line. Crowder, Herring teaming up to make the tackle. You know, with this type of ground game and with this heat, it just simply wears out a front. It wears out a linebacking core and a secondary.
Well, it clearly wears out the offensive coordinator. He's wet there. You see Randy Sanders.
This is a 10-play, 66-yard drive. Second down 4. On the ground again. Missed tackles. A hop and a skip and a touchdown, Davis.
This is Tennessee football. Davis is a whirling dervish. Bounced outside, gets a helmet hit on him. Got the ball protected. Nice leave right there in midair. The cross pay there. Davis.
Second touchdown of the day. Jabari Davis. Speed and power. The extra point is good. 9 yards for Davis. And Tennessee, can they make it 2 straight at the Swamp? They lead 24-10. Nearly 5.5 minutes off the clock, but Jabari Davis from 9 yards showing power and speed. And a nice job by Casey Clausen in some tight moments directing that offense.
But I got to go back again to the anatomy of the drive. I really love the pass-run ratio. And when Tennessee gets in the mode where they're just going to hammer you, I know that's part of their philosophy. But to truly get the mix and the movement that you want from a defensive standpoint, to set up plays down the road, you got to have that mix and that balance. That's how you get rhythm. Not just from a play caller's possession, but also from a running back and a quarterback's position as well.
Well, the wind has picked up just a bit. And Wilhoit has asked for some help to hold that ball on the tee. Starting to anticipate is Tennessee. And there's that wind we talked of. I don't think anybody in the stands minds much. It helps cool you off a little bit.
I know we appreciate it.
3 yards deep, thought about it. Caldwell takes a knee, but flags are down. We'll get the call here momentarily from Pinwa Wagers, our referee today.
Encroachment on the kicking team will retry the kick 5 yards further back.
You know, that happens a lot of times when you just score. You want to go down on special teams to keep the momentum going. And, you know, there's an imaginary line there. And, you know, your coverage unit sometimes gets a little bit antsy, and they beat the kicker to the point.
Wilhoit has struck the ball very well today. 362 total yards for the Volunteers. Gators at 247. You can see a very tough day in the rushing department for the Florida Gators.
Yeah, that rushing number is really telling. I don't care what your preference is from a style offensively. You've got to rush the ball to win football games. Go back and look at the great San Diego Charger teams and the Miamis of the world. The teams that run the ball are the ones that win the big ones.
Caldwell at the 1. At the 20, 25, pops a tackle to the 37. Nice return by Caldwell, the freshman. Well, let's take a look now at the play of the game presented by Wrangler 5-Star Premium Denim. just before half. Casey Clausen finds James Banks on the tip drill. Momentum changer. Made it 7-3 at the half after a very slow, sluggish start by the Tennessee Volunteers. And really, Spencer, that play, they brought it back and continued on in the second half.
Well, there's ebb and flow in the course of any game, but to end that way just before the half really gives you the momentum you need to contend in a game like this.
Chris Leak has checked in for the Florida Gators. Completes the pass on a knee is Carlos Perez. That'll be a pickup of 4. Clock runs coming up on 8 minutes left and a long ways to go for the Gators. They're going to have to throw the rest of the way. Carthon, nice move to the 50. A first down. Jabril Wilson, the strong safety, and on the stop.
Carthon doing a great job on that bubble screen, using the
Leak in the shotgun. 2 wideouts, top of the screen. They stay on the ground. Big hole up the middle. Carthon to the 37. They're ripping off 10, 12 yards a pop on this drive and moving quickly. A gain of 12. Carthon has scored in all 3 games so far this season. Shutout to this point. 1st and 10 Gators. Boy, long snap count. Well, I don't know if he didn't switch it on, but we did not hear the call.
Mike DeGore, the center for Florida, is trying to identify who it is he's going to block. They're going to tag the inside linebacker. That's what they're having problems identifying.
Leak, shotgun, steps up, throws, sideline, his man fell, picked off. Jason Allen. Allen with the interception and his second of the season and the second team pick for Tennessee.
Kelvin Kite is on the side there, and I think he falls down. We don't see the contact. The isolation, beautiful shot here, guys. Working to the outside. He's got his jersey right there. Kelvin just falls down trying to get his footing. Great interception, great job, but I'm not so sure there was not contact there before that occurred. Kelvin Kite has got to keep his feet, though. Leak can't believe it either.
Yeah. Well, Kite left a divot, that's for sure. Good look without the hat. Chris Leak, true freshman, Charlotte, North Carolina. And now Tennessee with the football. Jabari Davis in the backfield, up by 24-10. Flag, stop play.
See, Craig, you got 7 minutes and 13 seconds left. Just start watching the body language of Florida. They're young players. How they respond to this crucible experience of the interception is really important here. By their standards, they can come back and score. Putting 2 up with Ed Zombricker's offense is easily done.
Big day for 34. First half, 3 carries, 4 yards. It was rough going, but broke out in the second half of play. On the rollout, the catch. Troy Fleming, the fullback, with a nice gainer for the Volunteers. Back to New York, and here's Tim Brando.
Let's take a look at our Verizon Wireless top performance of the day, Walter Reyes.
I'm not sure Walter should be waking up there because it's supposed to be the other way around, isn't it?
Second down, short yardage for Tennessee. All they needed was a half a yard. Got that and about another yard to go with it. Jabari Davis carrying the load right now in the second half. And Spencer, let's check out the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Series facts. In last 13 meetings, team that led in rushing has won 11 times. Let's check it out today. 143 Tennessee, 65 for the Florida Gators. Get complete game stats at CBSSportsline.com or at CBS Sportsline on AOL.
There's Randy Sanders. He's called a great game, and he picked his spots. Old ex-quarterback doing a fine job down the stretch. He should be proud of himself.
Is there any tension between Philip Fulmer and Randy Sanders?
I can tell you this much. I know Randy's an ex-quarterback. He probably would like to pass the ball a little bit more, but you know, Philip has won. He's won a national title. He's perennially up there near the top, certainly in the SEC and nationally vying for national titles. You can't argue against that. I mean, Philip's the guy who's running things ultimately, so Randy's going to do what he's told.
Well, once a Vol, always a Vol. I mean, we know Philip Fulmer. He's been a Vol since '69, an offensive lineman. There's Sanders was a quarterback from '84 to '88. They keep it in the house.
Yeah, I think that's good, too. I mean, I talk about the law of the lid where you're not able to really improve beyond what your scope of intellectual property is as a staff. But I think if it works for you, you can't really argue with the results. They're winning today.
Play clock down to 2. Got it off. Pitch. Here it comes near side. Larkins, the ball carrier, and thrown down by his jersey at the 32. And back we go to New York. Tim Brando keep him busy. Timmy?
All right, Ohio State hanging on. Remember,
Dance the precarious waltz of defeat like they do.
Tennessee getting close to 400 total yards on the day. 3rd down 10. Larkins thought about turning outside, went back inside and dropped around the 37-yard line. Short of the first down. That brings up 4th and 4th. Matt Jackson and Jarvis Herring in on the tackles. Under 5 minutes left. Florida down by 2 touchdowns.
Now, this is really huge right here for Tennessee Volunteers as they try to redefine who they are offensively. Philip talked the other day about, hey, this is who we are. Last year we had some cancers on the team, unprecedented amounts of injury on this ball club. We want to come out and establish ourselves as a running team, and we certainly know Florida is in a mode where they're reclaiming past glory as well.
Back to punt. Dustin Colquitt, his dad, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a foot he had, and son has one as well. Sticks it inside the 5. It was touched at the 6. Gators digging themselves a hole there. Well, premiering Friday right here on CBS. Whether it's a murder or a drug ring. Quarterbacking the Gators, Ingle Martin back in. 4:07 remaining. And Spencer, Tennessee, I'm going to guess, just going to kind of lay back, play a little soft. Troop to the 15. And he stays inbounds, so that means the clock ticks.
Well, one of the things that Philip Fulmer is definitely adept at doing, he's going to play conservative anyway. And now that they got the big lead, I wouldn't expect him to do anything else but play cover 2 or some form of zone, which is what they have now. It's a 3-deep look, single safety high.
Martin hands it off. Tough running by Carthon. But again, the clock runs, and I hear a little smattering of boos from the fans here at the Swamp. Make sure you stick around. Doubleheader day in the SEC here on CBS. Number 7, Georgia, the Bulldogs, down in Baton Rouge against LSU.
Nick Saban is a former coach of mine. I was with the Houston Oilers, and Mark Richt, what can you say about him? He's got that Georgia program.
Picked up. Martin has it. Throws. Caught. Troop breaks a tackle. What a circus play. And the Gators are still breathing at the 40-yard line.
That's an impressive athlete there.
I still can't get over that hurdle on that far sideline. Martin throws, sidearms, caught. Spinning out of a tackle. Boy, the balls can't wrap up the Gators right now. Kelvin Kite for 17 yards. I mean, you can play loose. I understand that, but you can play a little bit too loose and lose the edge.
That's right. There's a balance you got to find. You can't really push the issue. You still play cover 2, but it's aggressive form of it. Play a lot closer than what you're doing right now.
Under 3 minutes left. Ingle, far sideline, incomplete.
Well, that's a risky throw across field. Even against single coverage, man, that ball has to cover a lot of water before it reaches the receiver.
Dallas Baker stretching out, stops the clock.
You see on the out cut there, the defender can come underneath that very easily, and there's nothing between him and the end zone if he can pick it off. Great job of delivering the ball by Ingle Martin.
2:47 left. Martin's numbers, 14 of 25, 195.
Watch the shallow cross. The middle receiver coming back to the large side or the wide side of the field.
5 wideouts to the sideline. You're right. Up high for the catch was Baker. They'll spot the ball at the 17. But the clock runs. Gators always with the hurry up. Gators with 2 timeouts. Tennessee burned theirs early, their last early in the 4th. Martin rolls out, pumps to the end zone, throws underneath, short. Oh, and he had a man. O.J. Small.
And you know, we talked about it not being any small task to be working to your left, to your right. This particular case, Ingle Martin does the same thing. Trying to work, does a great job of eluding the pressure coming on the outside. His receiver does a great job on the outcut, stays alive, does just like he's supposed to. He's wide open. Ingle just needs to keep his head up. I know the pressure was coming, but you got to stay alive.
Yeah, Perez broke with the fake, but he went underneath the Small and he short-armed it. 4th and 5. Little pump, end zone, man-to-man, out of bounds. Gators will turn it over on downs. They had man coverage, but the ball was tossed out of bounds, and Baker had it, but at least a yard from that sideline.
It was a pretty good call, but again, the ball could have been placed a little bit better. And one of the things you got to know, when you're down here in the red zone, everything shrinks. They call it the red zone for a reason. They don't have to defend deep, so you got to keep everything in front of you. So if you're going to pinpoint a pass, you better make sure it's on the spot. There's not much room for error.
Tennessee takes over at their own 17 with 2:08 remaining. Let's go back to Tim Brando for an update back in New York. Tim?
Greg and Spencer, Kansas State had won 41 straight non-conference home games.
Unhappy in Aggieville tonight, if that score holds true.
Well, the mid-majors now start to have a significantly strong argument when they continually, in their minds, get shunned for BCS guaranteed positions.
And you remember last week, UNLV with the win against Wisconsin.
I mean, it's going to be a reoccurring theme, and as you know, it's not something that you want to talk about a great deal. It's kind of an unsavory thing, but there are the haves and the have-nots in college football, and some of the teams that don't feel like they've got a shot to make it, make their state on the field.
Well, Spencer, we talked about Iceman, who's 10-0 on the road, and it looks to be 11-0. Let's dial it back, the calendar, to 2001. And there's Casey Clausen leading the band after the Gators were defeated here at the Swamp by Tennessee. He could be leading that band here in just a couple of minutes.
Well, they didn't appreciate that then, but as you're right, the 2:01 left.
Fumble this ball. And it is loose on the deck, still loose. Gators have it inside the 15. Hold on now. Hold on.
You jinxed him, partner.
Darrell Lee comes up with the fumbled football.
Well, first thing you want to do as your quarterback is seat the football properly. Great job of pitching it back. It's easy to second guess, but I'm sure they've run that play 100 times and never fumbled it in that way.
Turnovers even at 3 apiece. They load up 3 wide receivers near side. Boy, you strike fast here, You get an onside kick and watch out. Knocked away at the last moment, and Troop had a step. Troop had a step.
Well, double coverage here, and Ingle Martin touches the ball and puts nice touch on it, but Johnson right there with the hand outstretched just enough to deflect the pass. Oh my gosh, it's ever so slight, but this is a game of inches.
Brandon Johnson, left corner, backs up Jabari Greer. Big play. Second down 10. 1:49 left. Gators with the 2 timeouts. 3 wide receiver set. Ingle Martin. Sidearms, near side. Inside the 10-yard line. Kelvin Kite with the reception.
Don Chavis just saying, hang on, guys. We got him now where we want him. I'd still like to see him a little bit more aggressive down here. Again, you've got the end zone protecting you. It's like a 13-man.
Coming up on 1:20 left. Martin steps up, throws end zone. Incomplete. Good coverage by the Volunteers.
Philip and John consulting, trying to figure out how they're going to do this. In the meantime, Coach Ron Zook is stressing this thing on the sideline, or trying to get a play from his offense.
Now, last time, looking at 4th down, they went man to the corner, but Ingle Martin threw it out of bounds. This is 4th and 4.
They're probably not going to throw it down here because the split is not wide enough. They do have man coverage, though.
Martin looks across the middle. There was a bump.
That was a gift.
No flag. No flag. There was a bump, but the officials kept the yellow hanky in the pocket.
A very gratuitous no call there for Tennessee. There definitely was contact back there in the back of the end zone. Here, incidental contact, purposeful contact. Tough to tell from that angle, but my goodness, I think there was some contact before the ball reached Carlos.
Kelvin Kite looked back quickly for some help. Did not get it, so again, second time that the Gators have had to turn it over on downs. 1:11 remaining. 24-10 Tennessee. And a knee. Philip Fulmer will run his record to 3-0. And I guess the bye week really didn't hurt much.
Well, it didn't in the end, but I'll tell you what, he said that they were chomping at the bit, waiting to get back so that they can play. And clearly they were prepared to play. I thought the bye week would certainly play well for Florida because they had the rhythm working. They could have taken advantage of a team that had not had any activity for a couple of weeks. But in the end, it didn't make any difference.
Now, Ron Zook just told us the opposite of what Philip Fulmer thought. You know, Philip liked the fact that he was rested. Teams had a chance to heal up some nicks. Zook said, hey, we got 65 extra reps in. I like that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect Ron Zook to say anything different. He's a high-energy guy. He likes to contact. He likes to be active out there. So he probably wouldn't want the break. Philip Fulmer, on the other hand, as you said, really took advantage of it. And that look right there tells a story.
So Tennessee's going to get the early jump on that trip to Atlanta come December. Another knee. And the clock will run. Clausen, a heck of an afternoon.
Well, it was a great afternoon, but I think it was a mixed afternoon. Early on, Florida definitely gave them difficulty with their zone blitz combinations. He picked them up, got a tremendous boost from his special teams, and as you see Philip Fulmer embracing his staff there, I think that they owe as much credit to the special teams play as they do on the offense and the defensive side of the ball.
Tennessee will up the record to 3-0, 1-0 in the SEC, while Florida will even the record out at 2-2 and 0-1 in the conference. They won in 2001 here at the Swamp by a final of 34-32, and today they will walk out of here 24-10 winners. Tough place to play, but Tennessee prevails. 24-10 the final.
Thanks, guys. Coach, congratulations. A big win today. Tough first half, but you get the momentum builder with the Hail Mary. How do you keep that intensity going coming into that second half? What did you tell your guys in the locker room?
I told you at halftime I didn't think we'd seen our best part of our offense, and I thought we picked it up a lot. This day belongs to our defense. They did a great job in the kicking game. Those two things, and we're making progress as a football team. I love the attitude of this bunch of kids, and you know, this is a big step for us right here.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations. Back to you, Craig.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Philip Fulmer, in his 12th year, picks up back-to-back wins now at the Swamp. For Spencer Tillman, Tracy Wolfson, this is Craig Bowler-Jack saying so long from Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville. The final score, Tennessee over Florida, 24-10. Coming up next, stay tuned. Game 2 of our doubleheader as 7th-ranked Georgia takes on 10th-ranked LSU. Tennessee wins 24-10. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
Between Tennessee and Florida, a pair of top 20 teams. To the Swamp we go. Second quarter, 3-0 Florida. Last play of the half. Tennessee quarterback Casey Clausen looking, throwing the Hail Mary, tipped up in the air and caught by James Banks, 48 yards for the touchdown. No time left on the clock. Another look, 3 Florida defenders are there. The ball ends up with Banks. Tennessee 7-3 at the half. Fourth quarter, 17-10 Tennessee. Jabari Davis takes the pitch, breaks tackles, 9 yards, gets the touchdown, his second of the day. The final score, 24-10. Tennessee beats Florida, and this is the first time since 1992 that Florida has lost 2 games this early as the heat continues on Ron Zook. Georgia and LSU, no
Close out the first half.
Florida on top 3-0. The Hail Mary pass at the end of the half. Knock the ball down, fellas. Knock it down. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Clausen to Banks, and now Jabari Davis takes over.
Jabari Davis, who took over here in the fourth quarter. Tennessee rushing game. We said if they could get the running game going, they'd win the game.
Chris Leak, a mistake here, Coach.
Chris Leak throws an interception here in the fourth quarter with 7.5 minutes to go. Opens the questions about 2 quarterback play
Why
again.
the toss with time running out?
4-minute offense. You're trying to run the clock out. Should not pitch the ball there. Yeah. Ball gets on the ground, a turnover.
Philip Fulmer happy after.
This day belongs to our defense. They did a great job in the kicking game. Those two things, and we're making progress as a football team. I love the attitude of this bunch of kids, and you know, this is a big step for us right here.
Well, the winners in this series have come on the road now for the last 4 years. 24-10. My partner, Spencer Tillman, who was at the game, picked Tennessee as one of his teams to play in the BCS title game. But it does come back, Tom, to the running game of Jabari Davis. They stuck with their game plan.
They stuck with their game plan. The second half, the Tennessee offensive line took over. They rushed the football, knocked it in the end zone, the picture that we saw, and eventually the running game.
As a starting quarterback on the road. Max Starks of Florida a little irritated that Clausen led the band the last time he was in Gainesville, and against Florida, Gators with a 3-0 lead. Oh, the Hail Mary, and James Banks cashes in, and the Vols take a 7-3 lead to the locker room. Cedric Houston here, the SEC's leading rusher. Houston didn't come back.
And things didn't look good at this point for Tennessee. They needed to have him. But you know what? Casey Clausen, Mark, did make the plays when he had to. You see the catch here by Brett Smith.
Nice job, quarterback-wide receiver relationship. He gets it down to the one that gets punched in by Tennessee.
And Jabari Davis, I thought, did great, too. Look at the run here. Breaking tackles, jumping over people, 9 yards into the end zone, touchdown, Tennessee.
And how about Phil Fulmer? It was a hot day in Gainesville, and Phil got cooled off at the end. His second straight win in the Swamp. 24-10, the Vols get it done.
That's off to Randy Sanders, Mark. 39 yards rushing in the first half. Doesn't go away from the game plan. Continues to stick with it. They rush 50 times in this game, and that was